Okay, it is now 5:31. And I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Urban Growth Boundary Sphere of Influence Committee of Wednesday, August 28th, 2024 to order. Yeah. That's right. Okay, so what could I have everybody stand for the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and I will conduct the roll call. Committee member DeVries. Okay. Committee member Maderos.
Present.
Committee member Morris Lopez.
Here.
And Chair Martirana is here. Okay. Public comments. Do we have any public comments? Seeing no one in chambers. It does not appear that we have anyone online for public comment. So we will close public comment and move on to our consent agenda. Let's see. Looks like we have two items on the consent agenda: approval of the affidavit of posting and approval of the regular meeting minutes of the June 26, 2024 meeting.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. And a roll call. 1 second, sorry. Councilmember DeVries.
Sure.
Committee member DeVries, excuse me.
Either one.
Aye.
Yes.
Voting yes. Thank you. We know you're here, but.
Oh, here.
Sorry.
Did I say here?
I'm
Sorry.
Maybe you did.
Here and yes and aye.
Committee member Maderos.
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Committee member Morris Lopez.
Yes.
And Chair Martirana. Aye. Okay. Moving right along. Okay, so on to number 4, our action items. Let's see, Urban Growth Boundary Sphere of Influence Committee meeting schedule. Oh, we're going to take up the schedule first. Good, okay. I don't think you guys, I don't know if you've had a chance to look this over, or maybe we can take just a couple of minutes.
Schedule?
There is a printed calendar in your packet.
Yep.
And maybe give everybody just a couple of minutes while we're pulling those out and to take a look. It does cover the whole year, so don't get caught up in the January, February stuff. It's really starting with September. So the green dates are regularly scheduled meetings. The blue are proposed additional meetings. And then the pink highlight in September is when our city manager will be out of town.
But I don't know if I can go with the city manager on vacation for all those days.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
I can probably do the second
I'm
half.
not, I'm not.
I heard it's Italy.
I don't think he really cares what you think. He's more interested in what his wife says.
So we're not invited.
It's on the agenda, so.
Do you want to come to Italy, Dan?
I do not go to Italy.
I know.
Go to Italy and stay at Anderson Ange's.
We have yeah, Tuscan Villa. Okay. We're still reviewing that.
So basically you added one in
Yeah.
each of those months.
Yeah, I think the only question, Don, the December 10th is a Tuesday instead of a Wednesday the 11th. Was that intentional, do you know?
No, I don't know that that's intentional.
So I would suggest that we make it Wednesday, December 11th. Is that all right, guys?
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna,
Are we allowed to go into December? No, that's probably.
well, we're gonna
Same time.
schedule it and hopefully, just so if there is
Can
any,
make it happen and Jackie and Don.
we just want everybody to block their calendars. So
So block.
Jackie, do you have any input on this calendar?
Chair Maritano, thank you for recognizing my request to take a look at the December Tuesday, with my preference for Wednesdays, since it doesn't interfere with my work clinic schedule. I appreciate that.
Sure. So that, other than that, it works for you? Okay. Okay,
And Chair Martirona, there would be no meeting on the 25th of September? Or are you guys just gonna carry on without me?
on the I'm sorry,
And in September, the 25th is indicated as green.
it is. I think we hope to have that meeting. Yeah.
We do, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we'd prefer that you were here, but I for one am very concerned about that we've got a lot to cover in a pretty short order. I also will be, the October 9th, I don't believe I'll be available. I'll be traveling for work. And October 23rd, I'll be in Italy, but I should be able to attend remotely.
What do you guys in Italy?
I may be able to remotely attend the October 9th meeting as well, and I will make every effort to do so, but
These are all 5:30 starts?
correct, 5:30 starts, yeah.
Okay. I'm good with all of it.
Okay. Committee member DeVries, how those look for you? Okay, they look excellent for you. Let's see. I'm gonna make a couple of notes here I've got a sheet here that I'm recording our votes and so forth for the deputy city clerk. So I'm gonna make some notes on here that we're changing we want to change, or I think we want to change the December 10 to December 11. Okay.
October?
October is as it reads, and November as it reads.
Okay, I'll probably be out of town, on the 9th of October.
The 9th of October.
Mhm.
You don't think you'll be able to
I
attend?
won't be here that week.
Okay. Any
Can I
chance?
Zoom?
Absolutely,
Can I assume a Zoom?
absolutely.
Okay.
That would be,
That's poetic or what?
that would be lovely.
So I'm,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
but you never know, I might be here.
that'd be great.
And I don't know if it matters,
Uh-huh.
but the 13th, my son's getting married that week.
November 13th.
Yeah, not
Gotcha.
every day, he's not getting married, he's getting married on that Saturday.
Okay.
Weekend. Thank you, I know, what?
Nice.
My
Okay.
fourth grandchild on February 1st. Can you believe that?
Wow.
You need one.
Chair
Uh,
Martirona,
Yes, sir.
I'll be able to.
John Giffen here. I didn't get a calendar in my packet. But you just know that either I or my colleague will make every effort to attend to the degree you want us to
Appreciate that.
throughout the time.
Appreciate that. Thank you. It's basically the first and fourth Wednesday of each month.
Very well.
Excuse me, second and fourth Wednesday of each month.
Great.
Ending on Wednesday, the 11th of December. Okay,
Thank you.
sure. Okay, so this is an action item. We have now to open it to public comment. Do we have any public comment on this item? I have no one in chambers and looks like one attendee online. But no hands in evidence, questions, then I will take it back, bring it back to the council for motion and second, unless anybody has any further comments. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I will second it.
We need a motion.
So moved on action item 4A to accept the Spear UGB and SOI meeting schedule for the remainder of 2024 to meet on the second and fourth Wednesday of each month.
Okay, do we have?
Second.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Committee member DeVries,
Yes.
committee member Maderos.
Yes.
Committee member Morris Lopez.
Yes,
And Chair Martirana votes yes. Okay, thank you, guys. Okay, review and discuss. Let's see. Okay, review and discuss draft memorandum of understanding between the county of San Benito and the city of San Juan Bautista regarding outside of its sphere of influence. And we have a report from Mr. Reynolds.
Thank you, Chair, Madarama, members of the UGB. The chair and I exchanged a quick email last week, and I had met before the city council meeting with the chair and council commission member DeVries. And they explained to me that the language in the draft MOU that the council considered was far too much detail and was different than they anticipated. When they looked at it closely, they discovered they went back to their notes, the original notes with the yellow and red and different colors on it, and suggested that they take another shot at the MOU and trying to return to this more simple format that's easier to understand and easier to implement. So what I did was I tried to go through on this draft and amend it, kind of update it a little bit, the recitals, the whereases, the recitals are updated a little bit. And then put the language almost verbatim from the first tier, second tier, and third tier in after deleting the original language. And I don't see any of the comments showing up here in the staff report. The Word version of this document has comments next to it. You'll see that I've got some things highlighted there. Honestly, as I went through this, where the draft MOU used the word city approval and appeal to city council, this document talks about application denied. And I was trying in my mind to distinguish between something being approved and something being denied. And I think the intent of what I heard from DeVries and Madarama was maybe denied or approved is too strong. So I wrote it in here as the chair requested, but I just wanted to kind of hang my hat on that phrase in particular. And see if we wanted to make some amendments there. You'll see on number 6, for example, in tier 2, commission denies the application. So anyway, I personally, if I had a recommendation, I would go to that tier 3 as far as formal recommendation versus approve or deny. But then I thought about it after I reviewed this and sent it to the city clerk's office. That, you know, it's not black and white like that. In my opinion, it's not black and white. It's not approved, denied. It's really the county saying, hey, we got this application. What do you think? Let's talk about under what conditions would you approve this? And the answer could be under no condition. But in some cases, you know, you could reduce the square feet, reorient the building, put the driveway over here. You know how this goes. The iterations that the planning commission goes through on a monthly basis if we have applications. So it's really prepare conditions under which conditions would the council or commission agree to a project? And at least attempt, before denying or approving, to have a negotiation, a dialogue with not only the county, but with the applicant. I think that's kind of the way things go or have been going, and this would be a chance to put that in writing.
Great. Yeah, well, yeah, the city, I'm making notes myself. Okay, got it. Okay. Do we, I know if we've looked at this, all of us have looked at this so many times, and I know I got lost in the weeds with it. Unfortunately, and I think we it's sometimes it's important, to go back and look at it with fresh eyes. And I don't know. So I guess I'll open it up to comments or questions. Jackie, did you have anything you wanted to talk about here?
Well, I think I agree with City Manager Reynolds about it's not just black and white. There needs to be a discussion with the county, between the city and the county, and then also hear out the applicant, and there's always room for modification.
Yeah.
If we feel like this is really a win-win development for both the county and the city. It's not like we're just gonna say, no, we don't want it because it's in this tier. Maybe there is some really strong merits to have it.
Yeah.
Even though it might be in a high, in the tier 1, where we say that's the tier that we really wanna start having conversations, because it's important. But it may be that it's amendable.
Sure. Okay. Councilmember or committee member DeVries.
Well, first of all, I wanted to compliment Don for putting this together. I think this is just fantastic. And I think it incorporates a lot of it's a synthesis really of things that we've spoken to the city manager about, things I'm sure he's heard the council say collectively and individually from council members. But I came up with an idea. I know Don's probably like, oh, great. Now what?
You think just
But
on?
there's no such thing, and there's no such thing as a bad idea. I just want to remind everyone of that right now, okay? But this is do the public's business do public's business is open. So let's have a conversation. I'll throw it out there, and you all can tell me what you think, including the city manager. What if ... we got rid of the tiers? No more yellow, no more orange, no more blue. Number one. Number two, we then next took another look at what the term I think we've used interchangeably is planning area versus area of concern. Pick one, it doesn't matter to me. Let's call it area of concern. Constrict the area of concern somewhat to essentially eliminate blue. And I know the color references are important only to those of us who have been around this process long enough to know their meaning. So constrict the area of concern to remove the furthest further reaches of the area of concern. And then within the revised, more constricted area of concern, enter into an agreement with San Benito County which would be memorialized in a writing, otherwise known as a memorandum, which provides that as soon as the county receives an application for a project, definition of project, you can use the CEQA definition of project within the San Juan area of concern, that application shall be transmitted officially to the city of San Juan Bautista. Open paren, it's designee. I mean, if we have a full-time planner at that point, or the city manager, or whomever, but the idea is the county gets an application that right away they send it to the city of San Juan Bautista. And that the county, as a part of its application process, advise an applicant who is proposing a project within the San Juan area of concern that they are, in addition to fulfilling their county, all the other county requirements that'll be applicable, they're by virtue of applying for a project within the San Juan area of concern, they are also required to make a presentation of their project to the city of San Juan Bautista within a designated amount of time. 30 days, 60 days. The idea not being the definitiveness of the date, but just that it not be put off forever. That presentation, then this city as a city could determine the best entity, the best way to receive that presentation. Because it's a planning matter, I think it would be appropriate for the planning commission, the city's planning commission, to receive that presentation. Of course, city council could be in attendance, anybody could be in attendance. The community, everyone, to hear what this project applicant has to say. Hear their pitch.
Gotcha.
And then upon the completion of the presentation, the city then deliberates, discusses, talks about the proposal, and provides its feedback to the county planning department to be incorporated into the materials, the packet, if you will, that the county is otherwise going to put together for the project when it goes before the county planning commission for review and consideration. And in that way, I think, and well, let me stop that, because I chuckled when I heard the city manager. I heard the city manager's aversion, and rightfully so, towards the word approval and denial, as if we have jurisdiction over these things and we don't. And I know you and I kind of grappled with the word choice there too. I think we came up with in favor of or not in favor of. Maybe that's a little kinder, gentler, but this presentation by the project applicant to the city of San Juan of their proposal, their pitch, could very well result in a straw, not binding, but it's a straw poll vote. How do you feel about it, Commissioner Medeiros? And then let the record reflect that it was unanimously, that the commission was unanimously in favor of the project, having heard it as presented only. There will have been no environmental review done, either a mitigated negative declaration or an environmental impact report or anything else. Whether whoever's receiving the presentation likes it or doesn't is going to be based upon the pitch, and we know how pitches go. They're often kind of fluffy, but at least I think it would give us the best opportunity to hear what's being proposed, and then an opportunity to provide feedback. And so, and then the one last thing then would be that should that application go through the county process favorably to the extent that county staff is preparing conditions of approval and other things, or mitigation measures, for an egg deck or an EIR, that those conditions and mitigation measures be transmitted over to San Juan Bautista also, so that the city manager, planner, whomever can review those, add to them if that's appropriate to do so. John, I think you said David Mack added some good ones on that Dazzle project, so that would be the idea there, to add things or maybe make suggestions for revisions, deletions, whatever. But look at those things, because as we know, the devil's in the details, and those conditions and mitigation measures become critically important from the municipality standpoint to ensure that the community's goals and objectives are being met. So having said that, that's basically it. We have an area of concern. If something's proposed within that area of concern, we're notified of it, we're sent the materials, and the entity, person, developer making the proposal has to come to this city and make a presentation. Give us the pitch. Let us hear it. What do you have in mind, Mr. or Mrs. Developer? Then we talk about it, and formally, we can talk about it at Vertigo too, but formally as a commission or as a city, have that discussion, provide our feedback back to county. County incorporates it into their process.
I'm gonna call point of order, if I may, so Chair Moritano.
What's that?
The reason being is that I know this is a discussion and review item.
Mhm.
But committee member DeVries has gone way off topic from what the presented document is that we are to review and discuss. We have here a document that talks about the different colored tiers and levels of importance, the furthest away from the city with the least. We call that in general the planning area, but they do have color-coded tiers and a number tiers and levels of importance when we want to be notified. I appreciate committee member DeVries' explanation and looking at another way to deal with this, but I have to say, this is not what's in the document before us. So maybe we need to shred this up and go back to the table and have a working group to discuss and implement what committee member DeVries was speaking to, but that's not the product that we're reviewing and discussing.
Okay, I see your point. I think though that what he's suggesting is edits to the MOU. So I do think it's appropriate conversation. It is awfully extensive in the number of changes that he's suggesting, but I do think it's appropriate for the conversation. So
So does that, you as a chair then think it's appropriate with the agreement of all of us sitting here to maybe take this back and say, okay, we need to go back to the drawing table and consider what committee member DeVries was discussing, because this is not the product that I'm reviewing and looking at in print.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to respond to the point of order request, if I might. I
sure.
think that's appropriate. First of all, I don't know if that's a proper subject for a point of order. Second, if it was, if you want to talk about on the merits, I took away from the city council meeting on August 20th the very clear impression that the city council wanted us to go a different direction. They wanted things simplified. They wanted things expedited. And what I have suggested is a way of accomplishing exactly that. A very simple process, which I think still accomplishes our goals and objectives. And to committee member Lawrence Lopez's point, I'd be happy. Well, no, I wouldn't be happy. I'd be horrified to try to torture the draft, as nicely done as it was by the city manager, into fitting a new approach, this new approach. But if the suggestion is that we did not receive direction by the city council to expedite these things and make it more simplified, I disagree with that. I think that was the
Thank you.
council's direction.
Thank you. City Attorney Giffen, do you have any thoughts on the subject? It seems like it does not appear to me to be any sort of issue with the agenda. Would you agree?
I would say, I understand, council member Jackie Morris Lopez's point in that she's taking a very strict reading from this agenda item that, or to review and discuss the draft memorandum of understanding. But I think given the nature of this meeting, this is the first meeting we've had following the council meeting, which did break down what had previously been done. And it does sound like we are starting from scratch. I think all options need to be considered. And the fact that they're not absolutely agendized, I don't think precludes this discussion.
Right. Okay.
So that is what I would say. And just while I'm speaking, I think what Mr. DeVries says about is a very, very well considered, and given the goals of the city and the committee. I think we can't forget about LAFCO in this process, in terms of, they seem to be very attentive and very helpful to the framework that we can use. And I really think we ought to have LAFCO either here, or I should consult, or we should consult with LAFCO virtually at every step, so we don't get too far out of line. And
Agreed.
Because we can come up with all kinds of different ideas, but if we're not within our framework, and I think the mayor has expressed concern, is this legal or is this not legal? LAFCO really helps frame our discussion, understanding the goal, what we're trying to accomplish here. But I think LAFCO's got to be involved. And I don't think, given this point and given the nature of the committee, we need to just restrict ourselves to this absolute agenda item, or this. It certainly can be considered what Don has done, and it has been and will be.
Yeah. But
as an option, I don't think we're precluded from discussing options.
Okay, thank you for your input. Okay, I agree. I think this particular draft came out of a quick email from the city manager to me saying, "Hey, should I just take a pass at this?" It's like, absolutely. And my response was, absolutely. I really appreciate it as a foundational, taking us back to sort of that foundational. So the committee never even had any discussion about this. So it's pretty loose in my mind. So anyway, did you have, I have 6 points from yours, which you've described in. I have basically 6 points to that, up to and including the prepared conditions and mitigations coming back to the city for review and feedback. Is there anything beyond that? Or is that basically cap the process at that point?
Well, no, not particularly. I've in my mind, since first envisioning a framework, an approach like this, have been grappling with this concept. And I throw this out there too, so all of us can, maybe someone has an idea, but what we would want as a city at the end of the day is for someone who's applying for a project within our area of concern and has to come give their pitch to us. We want them to really, really, really want our in favor of. Because the extent to which they're desirous of that, of our thumbs up versus a thumbs down, is the extent to which they may make concessions. They may consider, instead of 40 units, how about 12? instead of this, how about that? And so how do you make an applicant value our thought? Because basically that's all it is our opinion. There's nothing binding about any of this. So you could, one could imagine language in MOU such that, the county shall give San Juan's feedback great weight in its further deliberations, or shall, just something to really emphasize the fact that we want our opinion, our position on one of these projects to be really taken seriously by the county. And you can't say, will you pinky swear that you'll take it seriously, what we have to say yet, what could we do? Yeah, so I'll leave that at that. So,
Okay, thank you.
yeah, other than that, Mr. Chair, no, I think I've basically just done a download of my my thoughts on the matter since that city council meeting on August 20th. So that's it.
Okay. Sorry, give me one moment. Committee member Maderos.
Yeah, I go along with Dan on that. I couldn't repeat everything you just said, but I'm glad you're writing that down. I think that's what we need to do is write this down, put it in written form and bring it back to us so
Yeah.
we can mull over it. And I'm sure that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
And I'm also thinking, on the legal aspect of it, since it was a big situation that was brought before the city council as a
Right,
and to me, looking back at what we've done, I have yet to experience in any one of the meetings, public meetings or otherwise, where legal had to inform us that we were going in the wrong direction and that we were heading for a lawsuit or something of that nature.
right.
Because of that, I think staff and ourselves were doing a good job to begin with. And if we need to change things, like we said, we were always willing to do that. Well, let's do that. And I'm listening to committee member Lopez and DeVries. And I'd like to see that in written form, whether it's in the
Sure.
minutes of the meeting or put it in the MOU. One other thing I'd like to ask all of us is our vision between city and county, we have a vision to want to communicate with each other. And now we're trying to draft that up as best we can going forward to the county. But I have not yet seen anything in writing coming from the county that says, hey, if we're going to look from any decisions from the city of San Juan Bautista, these are the areas that we're interested in, knowing that together, this is the direction we're going between city and county. Do we have an understanding from the county that says, if we were going to see an MOU from you, how you can best help us as a county? We'd like to see some of this in there too, as well.
Okay.
And give us some direction, because in the end, we're going to be deciding together. Hopefully, we're going to be able to communicate. But what is it that we want to see on paper that says, this is how we're going to do it?
Sure.
And all of a sudden it becomes policy, and we don't have to worry about the next group that's coming in. Where are we going to go with that? So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I see it developing right before my eyes. And I'm not, hey, the way we did it with the 3 tiers and what have you,
Mhm.
I was ready to go with that. And maybe it was a hard pill to swallow on somebody else's end, but so be it. But at least we're serious about what we want to do.
Yeah.
And we're not afraid to reach out and say, if we're going to come together, we're worried about these areas and how are we going to work on it together?
Yeah.
And it'd be nice to have a heads up before we go into any decisions when it comes to developers in the near future. So I'd like to see what we're doing today written. I'd like legal to come back and say, hey, we're okay with this, so that we can go before council and say, hey, I don't know what the legal problem is, unless you know specifically where we need to go with that, then we're doing all the right things legally. So
Okay.
let's just keep going where we're going.
Okay.
And otherwise, let's motion to approve. You know, really.
Add something like
Sure.
it's more efficient adding this now than later. I just want to address what city attorney brought up as legal, and I think that was a reference to a couple of things. And you know, we all were sitting here, we heard the mayor Scott Frill say, "Is it legal?" And we also had the principal planner Ariel Goodspeed say, "She even pulled out a California Code of Regulations section." All of that, think, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure all of that was as regards that yellow tier one lead agency stuff. San Juan being the lead agency. I still think San Juan could be the lead agency on a project and right on our doorsteps. Meaning that we handle it first, and then the outside planning firm that will have to be hired anyway has to run that through San Juan. I still believe in those concepts, but what I had learned from that council meeting and otherwise is that may have been a little too ambitious, let's say, or a bridge too far, or a pill to swallow. I don't know, pick a euphemism. But it seemed like there was a little bit of a gag reflex on the lead agency tier one yellow thing. So that's why in that presentation that I just made, I took all of that out. Just one area of concern. We get noticed, we provide feedback. That's basically it. So thank you.
Jackie, did you have anything to add? Please.
I'm not, thank you for allowing me to speak again. I'm not sure how the order's going.
This
But
is,
I think
we've
it-
always tried to be a little
yeah,
less
yeah.
formal, so I
I
think we
think
want to have that
I'm
conversation.
not in agreement with committee member Maderos to just get this in writing because committee member DeVries had a lot to say, wasn't taking copious notes. So I'd really want to see it in writing
Sure.
so that we each as individual committee members can add our own thoughts on what he's proposing. I don't want to have it as a motion to second it.
No,
I think this is still a lot of work because we are essentially what I'm interpreting now is that we're going to toss out all the colored tiers, the colors and the tier one, tier two, tier three. I don't think that we should throw out the body of the report that speaks to, I think it's the last page where it gets into the legal stuff, purpose. Maybe
Yeah.
that's the very last page talks about stuff that I don't think we should alter, but it's really the meat of where I'm hearing that we're considering that. And I didn't interpret that. I have to say that maybe because I sit here in the committee and I'm biased by it, we work through the process that I didn't feel that there was confusion or strong opposition to the tiers, except for maybe the mayor and the legal issues of it because of, the term lead agency. What does
Right.
it mean? So now what I'm interpreting what committee member DeVries is saying is that we're going to eliminate all of those tiers of importance. The proximity, the closest to our SOI is the most important. And now we're just going to say the whole planning area from tier one all the way to the end of tier three is what I'm understanding that we want to hear from the county, no matter what,
Mhm.
where it is on that area. Is that correct?
yes, I think so.
Okay, so
But John,
I have notes that we eliminated the blue tier, so it's just tier two.
well, he did suggest the elimination of the third tier, but you have that map?
So this is why clarity it needs to be
Yeah,
in writing because
absolutely,
this is
absolutely.
really confusing.
Okay,
We don't
point
even
of
have we don't
clarification.
have the map on our packet, like I said,
Understood,
we don't have any of this.
understood.
Okay,
Your point's well taken.
okay,
And David was speaking figuratively when he
Right.
said vote on it. He didn't mean that we were gonna
Okay,
vote
we're
to
gonna-
approve that
Discussion
right
item.
here now. It's only a discussion item.
discussion as I
Yeah,
understand.
absolutely.
Okay.
That is 100%.
Not having a map to refer to,
Absolutely understood.
to continuity
Sure, sure.
and relevance of discussion and review, it's missing a lot for me.
Absolutely. Okay.
And
Hold on,
Jackie,
I'd like to comment.
well, look, let me just I respond to my good friend Jackie. I thought about writing some stuff down for today. I thought of even making a map, and I thought, yeah, it's a little bit presumptuous. Let me just throw it out on the table and see what everybody thinks about it. And if there's some merit to the idea of what I suggested, then I'd be happy to draw maps and write things up and so forth. But for today, I just wanted to throw it out there verbally for you.
Like I said, I didn't see that or hear that there was a lot of council opposition except for the mayor just being very fearful of the terminology lead agency and his question about whether or not this is legal. But our city council, our city attorney, our city manager took painstaking effort to put that in black and white, that the state codes and laws supersede any of this. So that's why I'm just saying this is a moot point we're just being extra cautious when it's already in the document. And I feel like we're acquiescing to one council member, our mayor.
Okay. No worries.
Yeah, if I can add to what I said, again, I'm saying, let's say we went with the 3 tiers.
Uh-huh.
And all system was green light on that. We've never heard back from the county saying whether they like that or not. I
Right,
mean,
right.
and that way, we would have something documented on paper that says the reason why we're going with this and the reason why we're not going with this is such. And I don't think I've seen that.
No,
So I think we're all heading in the same direction, and to get county to give us some feedback and some help on this.
Yeah.
Why can't we just throw everything in there and say where they're at with that?
Right.
And I'd appreciate it because,
And that would be staff's job.
right, exactly.
so, and Ariel Goodspeed Goodspeed, sorry, was invited, was not able to attend. She had a conflict today, so we had hoped that she would be able to attend today. We will forward the new, now that we have this calendar, we'll forward this and make every effort. Yeah, absolutely. Exactly.
Records that you have.
So, yeah, I think I've got a pretty good set of notes here with, from all of the comments, that everybody's made. I will say that I am not sure we should throw out the 3rd tier at this point. The blue,
Maybe not.
but, because in part because the city council's already approved it as as a boundary. So, I don't think there's any real objection, as Jackie pointed out. I don't think there's any objection to that blue tier. It was I think primarily the legal issues. And I think John Freeman, council members Freeman and Sabathia both had some concerns about the legality, but I think to your point, I think we can adequately address it. Hopefully we can get the city attorney to expound a little more with them on that subject than he did in the meeting when he said, well, there's nothing illegal in the MOU.
Right.
I really appreciated that. Wow, he does sound like an attorney, doesn't he? But anyway, so I think we clearly need to get some stuff on paper. It sounds like there's not we need to get some documentation put together. We need to get it passed around to the committee.
Well, wait.
Hold on, I'm in my comments.
Yeah, but you're passing things around to the committee, and I don't think we're at that point. I think we still need to have a discussion.
And public comment.
Yeah, what I'm suggesting is that is the course of action that we should undertake, or not. I'm suggesting that that's the course of action that we should take, and then have that. Once then everybody's got something on paper they can mull over, we can come back and have a broader discussion at the next meeting. Did you want to comment further?
I do.
Please.
I do. I mean, that's what these meetings are supposed to be all about, is a lively conversation. And I'm just captivated by what committee member Morris Lopez shared and where she stands. Because basically, if you listen to her, where I said it may have been a bridge too far, she said, I don't think the bridge is as far as you think it is. I want to stay the course. I like the 3 tiers. I like the heightened level of involvement that the city would enjoy in tier 1. I'm not willing to give that up. Am I capturing your feeling accurately?
Can I answer?
Please,
No, we all sat here as a group of, at one point there was 5. And we just hashed this out.
We
With the
did.
colors, the level of heightened, enthusiasm that, oh, something's on our doorstep, we need to know about it. And you were the champion behind that, and you got us all on board, and now you're gonna take it away.
No, listen, and so yeah, maybe an explanation is in order. And I tried to a little bit, but I still believe in what we came up with my whole heart. It's great. It was elegant. It was
Let's find
beautiful.
out.
It was beautiful. I made what I myself would deem a concession by getting rid of the tiers and no lead agency, and all we want is notice and a time to hear it, to consider it and report back. From purely the perspective of what I thought we could get approved, what would go through, what would be consumable, by whom? By the city council. LAFCO, I don't think will care. By the county, by everyone who needs to say, oh, that sounds good. So that's why I did what I did, but it wasn't in any way to say that I suddenly stopped believing in a heightened degree of involvement the closer a project is to San Juan. That premise is still very valid and will always be valid.
So what I'm hearing you say, being one of those city council members, this is becoming political. You're trying to acquiesce the hard work that we all did to get the 3-2 vote, or the 4-1 vote, or the 5-0 vote. I think if the product is good and we lay it out the way we have been, and we calm the fears, irrational fears of whether it's legal or not, because it says in the document, this does not supersede land zoning code state, da, 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 da. Okay, so go for it. This is a starting point. So this is becoming political, I see, because you're trying to go for who's going to vote for this. If I kind of dumb it down, water it, thin it out, I don't agree.
And besides, I haven't heard anybody laughing. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that are being said, and we're so worried about what's being said outside of the meeting. And all of a sudden, during council meetings, we're hearing things going outside of the meeting, including laughter and whether we're being legal or maybe even being sued. When in fact, you and I are talking today and it's legal. Because I haven't heard anybody say that it's not. And if that's the case, then we're winning on our points. And I'm hoping that the county sees this as something serious that we want to go forward with. And hopefully we put in something in cement. We don't have to worry about it in the near future. So thank you all for doing what you're doing. Except we'd like to see more public here.
Okay.
So I don't know what we do with that. It seems like we're at a crossroads, maybe. If what I suggest is what? I know, but let me just articulate, because all I'm trying to do is read the room, or the commission and the room committee. It seems like we're at a fork in the road. Pursue something different, or stand our ground and keep doing what we were doing. Maybe with like the revisions like this city manager did brilliantly. And Jack, you would say stand your ground, right? Versus do something different.
I believe we have to have a starting point. We were directed at the city council meeting. We said, okay, get the SOI and the UGB to LAFCO now, last week, 2 weeks ago. And the next direction that we were given is to go back and get this MOU. Get the MOU passed on to the county, get the feedback, take the feedback, make the fixes and the amendments, and move on to the next steps. And now we're going back another 2 steps. And I fear that you don't have faith that we will pass this.
Well, I think it went before the city council twice and did not pass. So it seems fairly clear to me that we need to make some alterations.
But you know, I have to say, this is very political because I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. This is our time to discuss this and give our impression, our opinion for what it's worth. I feel that the three city council members and maybe minus the mayor, so that leaves two members, they were discordant with our SOI. They didn't like the fact that it was contiguous with our city limits. What does that tell us? You know what it tells us. They want more of a potential planning area. This is never going to make them happy.
Well, I lost my train of thought here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so
And they voted for the SOI.
they did. I think that I'm gonna go back to the draft that you created, that the city manager created for a moment. In section 5, letter F. So it's still going to, it's coming to the city planning commission for approval
Or denial.
or denial. And if denied, then it gets appealed to the county board of supervisors. So we're turning over, do we think that that is essentially what is going to make the council members in opposition and the county staff who seem to be in opposition of the wording, is that going to get them where they need to be? And call it political, not political, everything is political, but we're trying to build consensus here. So yeah,
Right.
well,
You're right. I'm saying, we're saying if we go before county and they agree with us and we want to go forward, and this is just in its initial stage, but yet we got the backing of the county going forward to our city council.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they approve it? And the
well,
other
I
thing
think
too
that's
that I
true.
wanted to throw in there,
Uh-huh.
that I kind of lost track on, was the fact that, you know, when you're asked to make a motion to approve or disapprove, there are moments, I think, that legal needs to step in and say, no, you need to make a decision on this, one way or the other, or give direction as to why you're not going to make the motion to approve.
Okay.
Because you put 4 years into this, and in 2 seconds, it's all goes to nothing.
Sure.
And I think legal needs to step in and say, hey, wait a minute. They're working hard on this, and it's legal. And I don't understand if it's political, that's not where we're at right now. We're trying to do what's right for the city and for the county.
Sure.
So let's make a decision on that. If not, give us proper direction where we all win.
Okay, so I'm gonna continue with my comments. Tier 2 says that that if there's a denial by the city planning commission, the applicant appeals to the city council, and then it can be appealed to the county board of supervisors. That seems a little cumbersome to me, and I'm not sure why we would have that additional layer, particularly in tier 2. And if in essence, they're going to be, I think we should take that particular step out of there. And then let's take a look at number 3. So, and tier 3 is basically advisory. Discussion. Okay, yeah, so I think that's fine. And the rest of the legalese seems fairly straightforward in my mind. But so I would suggest that if we're looking that as a if we're going to show something to the county, we have a document. we're gonna take this for further, it sounds like we have not necessarily clear consensus on what we want to do for the next meeting. It sounds like I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Do you guys, are you comfortable with the change that I've described in the MOU that Don provided?
Yeah, I think we're trying to go in a direction, we want to see it in writing first.
I understand. So I'm suggesting a change to the document.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Dan, is that? Not sure.
Maybe it's just because I'm more simple-minded than most, but I'm confused.
Okay.
It seems like at this juncture, we have two different paths that we can take from where we are now. One is to continue on with a tiered approach, a three-tiered approach, and then work on language for an MOU with the county that describes how that three-tiered approach will work as a practical matter.
Mhm.
I have suggested an alternative approach, path, avenue that would just create one tier or one area in which if an application is received by the county, the city receives notice of it and receives a presentation and provides feedback, etc., as I mentioned. If that idea takes shape or gets some traction, then it seems like it would be an altogether different MOU type document. And I'd be happy to take a stab at least doing a deal point version of something, what something like that might look like in writing for the next meeting. Or if the consensus now is, and I'm gonna have a third option. If the consensus now is to continue on with a three-tiered approach and just wordsmith and suggest edits and so forth to, like I've said a couple times now, this wonderful document that the city manager has put together, then we can do that. Or the promised third approach might be, I can do a deal point on, let's call it alternative approach of one area, application feedback, etc. We can then have A or B. What do you want to do? Make a decision with both at hand.
I'd be happy to put deal points into and actually have two complete MOUs. Yeah, just for us.
Yeah, just for our discussion. What was that, Don?
I'd be happy to come with two versions next time. The edited version of this one, and then a version with your changes in.
That'd be
So
wonderful.
if you could help me with some deal
Sure,
points. then I can
absolutely.
turn it
That would
around.
be terrific.
Maybe that would help. I don't know.
What do you,
I'd like that very much.
do you like that, Jackie? She likes the first one.
You know,
Gotta respect that.
Okay.
She's standing her ground. That's great.
We're not deciding anything right now.
No.
We want to see that in front.
can you hit your mic, please?
I really would like to hear from public comment, if there is any public comment, before having any further discussion. If that is. okay to proceed, Chair.
Sure. I guess we will open it up unless anybody has anything, any objection.
No, I think we have our three options.
I will open it up to public comment. And actually, I should say that if the city attorney has anything to add at this point, or the city manager, maybe we can do that at this point as well.
Nothing specific from me. I think the three options are certainly, the committee member DeVries' first point, city manager's memorandum of understanding that he prepared, second point, and then have, bring back the two alternatives and pick one. I don't think that's out of line, but it has to be acceptable to the committee.
Okay. Don, did you have anything to add at this point?
Just one quick clarification that when we receive a development application, our first job within 30 days is to make sure the application is complete. So I would suggest that if applications are shared, that they be deemed complete first, and then we have more time to process them after that. But I think we have 30
Yeah.
days only to process an application. To send an incomplete back, right? You have 30 days. So it would be a completed application.
Well, yeah, but it'd be, the applications that you're speaking of would be a county application, so they're the ones that'll be worried about the Permit Streamlining Act, not us, correct? We just,
Right.
and that's something so thankful that you brought that up. But a lot of people don't know about the Permit Streamlining Act.
Okay.
The county is very mindful of the Permit Streamlining Act, because if you run afoul of that, you can, I'll have a project deemed approved. So whatever we come up with in our approaches has to be consistent with not holding a project up, not creating undue delay, not running afoul of the county's ability to process things in a timely manner. But I think we can walk and chew gum at the same time. I think we can accomplish that. Providing feedback for a project proposed in our area of concern in whatever form, tiered or otherwise, without causing a delay that would be problematic as far as the Permit Streamlining Act.
Thank you.
No, thank the
Anything
city
else,
manager.
Don?
He caught that one.
That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Do we have any public comments? We have none in the room, in chambers. And I see no hands online. So, no public comment. Okay, I'll bring it back to the council. Or to the committee, excuse me, pardon me. So. Are we, I think I would like to see option 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to,
Sure.
okay.
Is that okay with you, Jackie? You'll have both to look at.
The one that's before us and then your
Yeah.
third option.
Yeah.
Okay, and then just that we're cognizant of the time frame because we're trying to.
Yeah.
Get this work done. And I think that was the direction of city council.
I think one of the benefits to having them will be the ability for county staff to chime in when they're hopefully attending at the next meeting. So I think having them brought into that conversation at that stage will be very, very valuable.
Okay,
Comfortable with it? Dan, you comfortable with that?
Yes, because we have a number of new blue meetings
Yeah. September 11th would be the next call.
to do said extra work
Okay.
or quick work.
David, you're comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay. I think that sounds like we have some direction. Don, you comfortable with that? Is that clear?
Yes, I think I got all 6 of Dan's points.
Okay.
So we could put some together quickly.
I've got 7, but that just may be.
One more thing, is there something that within staff, making sure that we get the word out to get public more interested? Somehow or another, if I can help you with that, let me know. But get more people to attend or more people to with raised hands. If there's something we can do about that
Yeah, influencer.
before the next meeting.
David, you be our influencer, our social media influencer. Can I ask that the kitty and the committee just confirm your desire for me to, the city manager's asked that I work with him on some of the deal points, for example, on that alternative approach. Is that all okay with you if I work with Don on that? I just don't want anyone, I don't want to be accused of, oh, you and Don put this together in secret or something stupid. Okay, okay, good, I will.
full transparency. Thank you. Right. Keep in mind what our direction and goal is.
Okay. Okay. I think I will close comments. Not too bad. Scott would be proud. A little more than an hour. Okay, so our next meeting. Let's see, today's the 28th of August. So our next meeting will be a special meeting Wednesday, September 11th at 5:30 p.m. Our next regular scheduled meeting is September 25th at 5:30 PM. Do I have a motion and a second to adjourn? Second?
Second.
Thank you.
So our next meeting is special. So
Correct. And so, on the motion to adjourn, committee member DeVries.
Yes.
Okay. Committee member Maderos. Committee member Maderos.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Committee member Morris Lopez.
Yes.
Thank you. And Chair Martirana votes yes. We are adjourned at 6:41.
Don't forget to say thank you.
Thank you all for your time and attention to this important topic.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
That'll be good. We're not